Hopeville burned, lightless in the night, invisible fires of radiation scorching it from within and without. It is said...
Hello there, Sir from 17 once again, introducing you to my Fallout New Vegas Lonesome Road video walkthrough. This is the third and final section to the DLC, and I am currently getting my ass slapped as I run through this Cave of the Abaddon. And this is the easiest way to get through it. If you just keep running and jumping, put your gun away to be a little bit more mobile, and then just throw down a bunch of stim packs and, you know, get your life back from that ass slapping we just got. So because this is all pretty standard Fallout fare and nothing too tricky, I'm just going to be talking about some more random stuff, and I hope you don't mind because I do enjoy doing it, and a lot of people seem to enjoy listening to it. So the first thing I'm going to say is I was just checking some comments on my YouTube channel, and I'm always grateful for the people that comment. I do love reading them, I love replying to them, and it's nice to see that I'm getting a little bit of a community of people replying to each other, because it used to be just me, but now everybody's having their own say, and it's a cool thing to witness, especially on your video. But it's got to kind of the subject of story toppers, and everybody knows somebody like this. By the way, this section is kind of challenging. There's death claws, there's invisible guides. If you just follow what I do, you'll get through it in no time at all and have no trouble whatsoever. But there's always that guy in your friends who's the story topper, where somebody's like, my entire family got cut in half by a train, then they were set on fire by this random F-14 that dropped some napalm on the wrong target, and then as he were dragging them out with his bare arms, Arnold Schwarzenegger turned up and took a piss on everybody to put the flame out, and everybody was saved. They were all sewn back together by Patrick Dempsey off like Grey's Anatomy, and at the end, they were all smiling like the Cheshire Cat, and they got, you know, $10 million from the President of the United States because they'd done like the fucking Medal of Honor or something. And there's always that one guy that's, yeah, but, and then says the most ridiculous fucking story, almost just for the sake to top the story before, thus earning him the name of the story topper. And it can be everything, in every aspect of life. There's always that guy who, your story can be the most mundane thing ever, but they'll always have something to rival, if not better it, and they don't even know they're doing it. It's great. And for a lot of the time, we're all kind of that person. We've all done it, but there's always one person that does it more than most. And I mean, it can be anything. It can be literally like, I just took a shit, it only took one wipe. And then there'll be the guy that, I took a shit, didn't even need to squeeze, he just fell out of me when I sneezed. You know, there's always that guy that goes that one step further, and he's fucking hilarious to see. But what this has come from is, on the insane difficulty last boss of Gears 3, the Queen fight, a lot of people are having trouble with it. I've mentioned it in an earlier video, and people are saying it's the hardest last boss on any game ever made. And I'm sorry guys, I'm not trying to belittle your skill level or your struggle in fighting her, but she is not the hardest boss, by a fucking long shot. What people need to try and bear in mind here is, there is a difference between a legitimately difficult boss and an illegitimately difficult boss. And you're probably thinking right now that bosses have absolutely nothing to do with, you know, bastard childs, but what I mean by this is, that boss on Gears 3 is only hard because of all the bullshit around her. She's not a hard boss. If it was just the Queen, it would be easy. But it isn't, because of the Shriekers that turn up randomly, and because of the Theron guards that will rush you pretty much on every single part of the map, and just make it absolute hell. The ammo's a pain in the ass, everything's a pain in the ass. The boss itself is easy. It's just, you're in a shit situation getting shit dealt to you. Other games with legitimately difficult blast bosses are challenging because the boss kicked your ass. Not the game, not the bullshit, the boss itself. And the story topper that I'm talking about is a guy that's gone on to say that Vanquish, the final boss of the game Vanquish on the God Hard difficulty, makes the last boss on Gears 3 look like a piece of cake. And this guy's not joking, because if you've never seen this, Google it. This boss is ridiculous on every difficulty. And the reason why it's ridiculous is, for the people that have never played Vanquish, you play a dude in a suit who's got super fast reflexes, you can slow time down, you can evade like a bastard, you can move quick as lightning and do massive damage. The last boss of the game is somebody in a suit just like you, the only difference is his suit can fly. And if that isn't bad enough, there's two of them. Two of these boss guys. And you're pretty much getting gang raped by two of the fastest enemies you'll ever fight in any game, They each are so aggressive, so agile, and they pretty much have the ability at any time to instantly kill you if they choose to. And to make matters worse, the level that you fight them on is constantly shifting and changing and moving, so there is no permanent cover because it's all just morphing around into different areas. And the fight itself is horrifically challenging, but it's challenging because you are being attacked by two extremely agile and dangerous enemies. And it's fair. There's no little flying bastards that are taking your attention up. There's no, lack of ammunition anywhere. It's all fair, and it's balanced. It's hard, and it's really hard. And I haven't beat the game on God Hard mode. I got so far through it, and I ended up buying something else and getting distracted. But it's something I want to do because it's that fucking hard. And it's just absolute madness. And it's one of the hardest things. I mean, on hard, the fight took me a while, and I even sent a message to my buddy when I did it, and I said that is one of the most legitimately difficult bosses I've fought in a long time, and I loved every minute of it because it's a real challenge. But there's not many bosses like that. There's so much bullshit these days in gaming that the bosses don't generally give you that comfort. And that's why it's refreshing. The Gears of War 3 boss is not. The Gears of War 3 boss is just bullshit. And that person's kind of just truth-bombed that entire thread with that comment and just showed them the way, because some people seem to hold other things in really high esteem when it comes to difficulty, and I personally don't understand it, and it is subjective. I say this all the time, and it is. Everybody sees something different, everybody struggles with something different, but some people seem to hold other things in real high esteem when they're actually not that bad at all. And I think it's because we're pampered these days by gaming, by the way games are designed, into never failing, never dying, never having to continue, never being punished. And we form this mentality that we're the best at everything and we're fucking gods and we shouldn't fail. And anything that does kill us or forces us to see that checkpoint is cheap. When really, I mean, you go back 10, 20 years, man, games were fucking cruel. If you put in a Commodore 64 game or an old arcade game, it basically comes up and tells you, are you prepared to get your ass fucked? Because if you're not, you're going to have a sore ass and a sore mouth, because we'll fuck them both. It's like, they don't care. They never cared. It wasn't so much about making money as it was about, there was no such thing as balance, there was no such thing as enjoyment. It was just, this is this digital thing, oh, the computer won again, what a shame. And that's how it worked, and it did end up turning a profit, because you pay a quid or $1 to get one life in a game that they put to the hardest difficulty. You walk forward and something shits on your face, you have to put another $1 in to continue, and because it's so new and so fresh and this vast new technology, that you're like, I don't care that I walked forward 2 spaces and that dude took a shit on me. I want to get shit on again because this is so fascinating. And they made a lot of money. But somewhere, in the last 10, 15 years, that changed, because if it didn't appeal to this wider audience, and if it didn't, have these tutorials and have these difficulty curves and learning curves, then people just weren't interested and people didn't play the game, so all that effort that they put into it wasn't rewarded whatsoever. And we're fat, really. We're these gluttons who have got so used to consuming this easy standard level design and level of difficulty that if a game doesn't hold our hands, we immediately think it's broken and stupid. And I think that's all down to the way we're conditioned. But a game like Vanquish and a game like Demon's Souls and Dark Souls, even though I've not played them, I've heard a lot about them, these are the type of games that they don't give a fuck if they don't hold your hand. They're gonna take a piss on your hand and make you slap your girlfriend with it. They don't mind. They're doing exactly what they want to do at your expense, and you've kind of just got to go along with the ride and accept it. And if you can, they're brilliant games. But this is Ulysses, this is the man behind everything, and this is the conversation tree that you will need to talk him out of attacking you, basically. And that last one requires 100 science, so if you don't have that, you might not be able to do this. But I go through this conversation quite quickly. The main reason is it took me a while to get it right, so I was reloading a couple times. But you basically have to say to him that you just want to change his mind through your actions and through your words, and that's the best way to do it. And it does take a while, but once this is done, you and him are going to fight off a bunch of the marked men, and then you have to start the launch sequence, and that's pretty much the DLC over. So, there you go. Even if the missiles launch and I die here, if I can change your blah blah blah, that's what you want. And this is the direction. But it's an interesting piece of content, this one, and I did enjoy it, and it's restored my faith for the next one. It is by no means perfect, and for 800 Microsoft points, They are kind of steep considering they're not that great, but it's definitely stronger than the last one, so I would recommend it if you're on the fence. Purchase it, there's achievement points, it's pretty fun. But there's the conversation skipped, sorry. Well, what's going to happen now is, from that entrance we came in, a bunch of the savages are going to attack us, and we have to take them down. And once you've done that and you have to disarm the launch, what's going to happen there is Eddie, if you got him, because I actually skipped a cutscene at the start of this video, I believe, or maybe the start of the last one, where you lose him, where Ulysses activates this override code and it makes him run away from you. But if you go into the room that I was in while I was talking, and I completely forgot to mention it, you will be able to free him by opening the console like I just did. That's why he's back with me, and it enables you to use told Eddie to sacrifice himself and stop the missile launch, which is really sad, but he's determined, and there's a really funny bit at the end, which I'm not going to spoil because it comes up on the screen as a subtitle, and it really made me laugh. But this is all standard, you know, Fallout stuff, shoot the dudes that come into the room. They all seem to want to throw plasma grenades at you and run around the arena instead of coming directly for you, but they're not too bad at all. Now, if you're wondering what that ridiculous halo is on my character, it's something I picked up, I believe, from the Old World Blues, and on the description it says gradual health regeneration, but if I'm completely honest, I've never seen it happen or work, so I don't know what the hell it is. I was just trying it on. But instead of talking you through this, which is just standard me, you know, shooting fools, I'm going to talk about a series that I started watching yesterday when I was recording this guide. And that is a series called Breaking Bad. And it's in its 4th season now, it's near the end of its 4th season, so I was way behind. I'd not really heard anything about it, I'd just seen it on the torrents and stuff and just completely ignored it. But I read a synopsis, and the synopsis said, an overqualified chemistry teacher gets the diagnosis that he's got lung cancer, and his life is kind of in the shitter, where he's struggling for money, he's never financially safe or secure, and he gets this diagnosis having lived this super safe life, and he decides to use his chemistry skills to start cooking crystal meth. And it's kind of like a slap in the mouth. You're like, whoa, where does that come from? Crystal meth? Wow. So I decided to pick the show up and see what it was like and give it a try. And I'm enjoying it. And I'm one of those type of people that when I want to watch a series, I don't generally enjoy waiting a week and watching each episode systematically. I often prefer to miss when a series is aired so that I can just go back, get the box set, and then hardcore them, because I'm kind of like a drug addict when it comes to how I watch television shows. If I like something like House or something along those lines, like Mentalist, like a bunch of the other shows that I've watched, I can sit and watch them back to back until I've watched everything. And in the space of a day, I did the first 2 seasons of Breaking Bad back to back, because it's just how I function. I'm an all or nothing kind of person with things, and I'm really enjoying it because it's so different to anything I've really watched before. And if you've not seen this program, it is a dark program. Nothing happy pretty much ever happens. It never goes to a sense of normality. It's always one bad thing after another, and it's kind of crazy. And the one thing that I'm noticing now that I'm super enjoying is this role reversal between the 2 characters. And the 2 main characters, one is a crack addict who's selling and cooking bad crystal meth. The other one is this, do-gooding teacher who uses his chemistry skills to make a new batch of meth. And he's the good guy, the crack addict's the bad guy. But what's happening now is this relationship, the dichotomy between them is completely changing. It's really different, and you're seeing it manifest. So that this crack addict is kind of getting his life back together. He's kind of, he's staying off the drugs. He's realizing the folly of some of his ways, and he's getting himself a girlfriend. He's getting himself a house. He's not sponging off his parents, and he's learning. He's learning to be good because of this influence from this other person. But at the same time, this good person, this pure vessel, is just being completely corrupted by what he's being exposed to because of this crystal meth industry. So it's affecting his family, it's affecting himself, it's affecting his moods, and you're just seeing this Jekyll and Hyde persona, complete role reversal between the 2, and I'm super enjoying it. But how beast is that just then? As soon as he's like, "Are you sure you want to do this, Eddie? This is going to kill you." And he's like, "Determined." And then there's the dramatic music kicks in. I just thought that was such a fucking cool comedic touch. But there you have it. Eddie's going to sacrifice himself for the greater good. and you have to wait here until he blows up, which is really sad, but you know, he saves the world and everything. If you like me on my permanent playthrough, I had him blow up the NCR because I'm evil and I don't care, and I liked Eddie, so I kept him. But once that's done, it tells you to escape this facility before it blows up, and you now get to dramatically run to the exit as the screen is shaking like some kind of Paul Greengrass movie, and you have beaten the Lonesome Road. So thanks for watching, guys. The next guide will be Rage. As always, you take care now.